Tena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in the 9th chapter, and today is the famous verse, 26th verse of the 9th chapter. And you can raise your hands, Chaitanya Prabhu. You can line everyone up, and then we will begin with you, Chaitanya Prabhu. Please recite this. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadam bhakti upartham asnami prayatatmana. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Thank you, Prabhu. Purport by His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one therefore can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. So before I forget, when we offer something to Krishna, to Jagannath Mahaprabhu Panchatattva, Krishna does not need that, and Krishna is actually not thirsty or hungry of our stuff that we give him of the bhog. No, he just wants our bhav, our love and our devotion. And when we offer something to Krishna, let's say we prepared bhog and we offer to Krishna, what does Krishna do? He does two things. First is that he takes away all the sins of that bhoga. Because we are eating plants, and plants do have life, so by killing plants and preparing them to eat, there is some sin incurred, right? So when we offer it to Krishna, the sins are washed away first. And most important thing that Krishna does is that he instills his prem, his mercy, and that bhog becomes prasad. So when we offer something with love and devotion, these are the two things that's happening. If we do not offer something to Krishna, what's happening is that we are eating sins. Even though we say it's vegetarian food, still plants have life, right? And you are not paying due respect. The plants belong to Krishna. How can you eat? You say, I pay for it, but really, is that your money? First. Second, anyone in the world, can they claim that they produce plants? No one can. It all comes from the land. And no one can claim the land belongs to someone. No, it all belongs to Krishna. So ultimately, it all comes from Krishna, and that is why we have to pay. And we are not paying in terms of money, we are paying in terms of love and devotion. Okay, that's very important. And the most important thing from this verse is Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Patra means patta, leaf. Pushp means flower. Phal is fruit. And Toyam means water. These are very, we can also get them for free. From trees we can get the fruit, water we can get everywhere, leaf we can get everywhere, and pushp, flowers also, right? But what's important is see how Krishna very meticulously he puts the order. He starts with Patram. What is that Patram? That Patram is Tulsi leaf. So tulsi leaf comes first. Unless you put tulsi leaf in any bhoga or offering, it is not accepted by Krishna. So we should only offer Krishna everything with tulsi leaf in it, and we can never offer anything that is tamasic with a tulsi leaf to Krishna. So it's very clear that we should only eat sattvic, bhog and prasadam. Nothing outside that. And there should be tulsi leaf. Without tulsi Krishna priyasi. Without tulsi, Krishna does not accept anything. So remember these two things, okay? Moving ahead. So the highest perfection of life is bhakti. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. Yome bhaktya prayachati, he says, right? So if you see the words, Yome bhaktya. So out of love only, if you give, you do business, then that is not, Krishna is not pleased. As Prabhupada says, he does not take any offerings from a non-devotee. No other condition, such as becoming a Brahman, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. So that we know the story of Karmabai, isn't it? She was not very rich. She was not a scholar. She was not very learned. Neither was she a Brahman. A simple old lady, but she had love. And that is why Jagannath every morning would run to eat the khichdi of Karmabai. Practical example. So nothing can induce Krishna. Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Again, very important statement. Bhakti is never causal. What does this mean? Causal. Causal comes from cause. So there is no cause of bhakti. We cannot say that because I have done such and such thing, I should now get bhakti. Bhakti is the only thing that does not come from our karma. Or it cannot be seen from our astrological chart. Bhakti only comes from mercy. When Krishna wants someone to do bhakti, then only can someone do bhakti. No other means, no other way. Here Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. So when we love someone and we want to establish a relationship with them, for instance, a boy falls in love with a girl. Now he would try to find out what is the favorite color of the girl, what kind of food she likes to eat, which kind of movie she watches, what music she hears, where does she want to go on vacation. So he would find out everything and he would plan accordingly. Similarly, when we have to approach Krishna, we have to find out what pleases Krishna. And then we have to act accordingly. That is called bhakti. And Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Valam Toyam. That offer me anything that is sattvic. So the first thing here is to understand that anything that is tamasic or rajasic is not going to please Krishna. So if I really love Krishna, I have to give up tamasic, that is mode of ignorant food, and rajasic, mode of passionate food or ignorant food. So in the later chapters of Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna is going to reveal what is ignorant food, what is passionate food, and what is food in the mode of goodness. So he only pleases when someone offers him something in the mode of goodness. Food cooked in the mode of goodness. That is without onion and garlic, no mushrooms, and no things that is going to invoke passion and ignorance within us, like meat or alcohol. Going ahead. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flowers, and water be given to him, and he says, of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. I was about to say it's already here now. So in the 3rd chapter, verse 13, Shri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body and to create fine brain tissue, which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food since he already possesses everything that be, yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. So 3:13, Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 3, verse 13, Krishna says, whatever you eat, you have to offer to me. But someone who doesn't offer is eating sins. Right? Now let's try to understand this. Our goal of life is to end the circle of birth, death, old age and disease. We are in Maya right now. We are in Mayajal, trapped. We have to get outside this Mayajal. We have to go to a place where there is no misery. We want to be happy, but we are not happy. We are trapped. There is so much of anxiety, so much of overthinking, so much of depression, health issues, aging, death of loved ones, so many things. Our goal should be fixed. That we have to leave this place for good and never come back. We can only leave this place when 2 things. Love for Krishna comes. And second, our sins, our past lives, prarabdha karma, everything is 0. There is no new karma. Okay? Now, every time we are eating something without offering to Krishna, that creates karma. Bad karma, right? Because we are eating sins, pap. That means we will have to we'll have to get the result of those bad sins later in our life. That will become our prarabdha. On the other hand, it's a simple step. We cook without onion and garlic and we offer it to Krishna with love. That's it. Very simple. And then only we take it. So what's happening is we are eating what we like. Krishna has not said that don't eat pizza, don't eat burger, don't eat paneer or whatever. So there is no restriction. Only some restriction during some period. Like Ekadashi, you should not be eating grains. On certain time, you should not be eating. You should give up certain things, right? So if we just take care of this step, what are we doing? We are not creating unnecessary sins and karma. That means we are moving closer to going back to Krishna. So take this very seriously. And if you think you are failing, you try, but it's very difficult. I cannot give up onion and garlic. I cannot give up whatever, if you are eating eggs or meat or whatever it is, then please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra very sincerely. That is the medicine. If you start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even one round with complete faith and attention, then you will see over some time, your taste will go away for eating onion and garlic and meat and alcohol, cigarettes or whatever it is. Okay? So it's very important that we should not create any unwanted karma or bad sins going ahead. Okay? Moving ahead. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad-gītā. To them it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad-gītā. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized because of his absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth can eat food and enjoy it. Okay? So Krishna can perform any activity with any senses. Like we need eyes to see. Krishna does not need eye to see. He can see with his ears. He can see with his tongue. That is Krishna. And when we offer something to Krishna, we may feel that, oh, the food is right there. How is it that Krishna is eaten? Krishna does not eat our food with his tongue. He eats our food with his eyes. So he eats our love actually, our bhav, our emotion. And then he returns it back to us 10 times, tenfold, right? So when there was this child who heard such verses, of Bhagavad-gītā that we should offer to Krishna and Krishna accepts it. Then he starts to offer and then he says, oh, the food is there. So how is it that the food is in the, that Krishna has eaten the food and then the food is also on the plate? How is it possible? So he goes to his guru and then inquires from his Guru Maharaj that Guru Maharaj, how is it possible that the food is in Krishna's belly and the same food is in the plate? So then Maharaj says, okay, fine, let's do one thing. Remember the verses of Bhagavad-gītā. So he gives him a task. He says that you remember the first verse of Bhagavad-gītā. So after some time when he memorizes the verse, he comes back to the Guru and says, Maharaj, I have memorized the first verse of Bhagavad-gītā. So then Maharaj opens Bhagavad-gītā and says, okay, recite the verse. So then he recites. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmashetre kurukshetre sampeta yuyutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kima kurvata sanjaya. So the Guru says, oh, do you think the shlok is in your mind now? It's in your memory? Is inside your mind? He says, yes, Maharaj, I just recited, right? The shlok is inside my memory. It's inside my mind. I remember it. It's there in my brain now. But Guru Maharaj says, no, how it can be? You see, I have the book Bhagavad-gītā open with me and the shlok is inside the book. So how is it possible that the shlok is in your mind? It is inside the book, right? So how it can be inside your mind? So it took him a while to understand that the shlok was both inside Bhagavad-gītā and in the mind of that student. Similarly, at the same time, the food can be on the plate, bhoga thali that we have offered, and at the same time, it can be inside the belly of Krishna. That is the transcendental nature. Okay? So I hope you all understood this past time. That the verse was inside the mind of the student. That is why he was able to recite the verse. It was there in his memory. And at the same time, the same verse was in the Bhagavad-gītā book as well. So the same verse was in two different places at the same time. Similarly, the bhog that we offer, the prasadam, is, so we should never doubt that, oh, Krishna is not taking my prasad. No, he is actually taking our prasad, but it is still on the table and he gives us back so that we can eat it. Okay. So I think, we completed this one. Let's move to the next verse, 9.27.
Yes, Subhashmita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yat karoshi, yad asnasi, yad juhasi tadasi, yat tapasyashi kaunteya tat purusha mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yeah, so people ask us that, what does Bhagavad-gītā tell us to do? This is what Bhagavad-gītā is telling us to do. Whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we have to give or take, just do it for Krishna and as an offering to him. Thus it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremony. Therefore, Krishna recommends do it for me. And this is called archan. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra around his beats, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, 6.47. Krishna says, Yogi namapi sarvesham. That is the verse, okay? So, here again, Prabhupada says that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. What does this mean? It means that first we should take care of our necessities, our needs. And once we have taken care of our needs, and when we have more than what we need in terms of money, then we should utilize that money in preaching. So that now I am safe. Now I want to safeguard others and also give them a platform to go back to Krishna consciousness, to go back to Vaikuntha Dham or Golok Dham. Once I secure my place, then I go out and I distribute the books. I host program in my house and I call the non-devotees. I offer them prasadam to eat, kirtan, hari katha. So this is how we should utilize our money. And the best way to utilize the money is to build a temple. It is said in Puran that if someone gives even 1 brick donation to the temple of Vishnu's temple, then he will reside in the upper planets for so and so kalpa. So it's very auspicious to be a part of the construction of Vishnu temple or Krishna temple. Okay. Moving ahead, 28th verse.
Yes, Abhishek.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Shubha Shubham Falarevam Mochasya Karma Bandhane Sannyasayyo Yuktatma Vimukto Mamu Pashyasati. Translation: in this way you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
Yeah, Mam Upashyasi, you see, Mam here, Prabhupada is translating to me, and Upashyasi means you will attain me. So have you seen the pattern? Krishna wants us to come back to him. By now you must have realized, right, that when he's giving this knowledge, wisdom to Arjun, time again he's saying, come back to me, come back to me. 4.9. Evam yo veti tatvata tekva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Come back to me, Arjuna. Isn't it? And so many times he's referencing the same thing. Come back to me, come back to me, come back to me. That means he really wants us to come back to him. He misses us. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-255, Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Meaning that someone calls, I call someone, right? What are you doing? I am doing nothing. How can you say that? You are talking to me. That is something. That's an action. You are lying down and you are breathing. That is an action. So there is absolutely no one alive who can say that I am not doing anything. You are breathing. You are doing something. And that is creating karma. So actually situated in renunciation, therefore if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then it is called Yukta Vairagya. So this is given that we have to perform action no matter what. But if we don't offer to Krishna, we are creating sins, either good karma or bad karma. But if we offer to Krishna, then we are not creating either good or bad, it's a karma. Actually situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind, and as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated, and this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahma Jyoti, but rather enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam Upasyasi, he comes to me. Back home, back to Godhead. There are 5 different stages of liberation, and here it is specified that the devotee who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting his body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Such a person always thinks of himself as an eternal servant, dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. As such, whatever he does it for the benefit of the Lord. Whatever action he performs it as service to the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive activities or prescribed duties mentioned in the way. For ordinary persons, it is obligatory to execute the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas, but although a pure devotee who is completely engaged in the service of the Lord may sometimes appear to go against the prescribed Vedic duties, actually it is not so. So what does it mean? That we have so much of debt towards our Kul Devi Devata, ancestors, to the Devi Devatas, actually, Surya Dev, Mother Earth, Varun Dev. But, and if we are living a karma kand life, so it is our obligation to give back to everyone. But once we come to the platform of Krishna consciousness, and the example comes that if you water the root of the tree, the whole branches, fruits, leaves, everything gets watered. So similarly, when we will become Krishna conscious and then we are watering the root, that means we are satisfying Krishna, we are pleasing Krishna by giving offering of everything and anything that we do. So Krishna takes care of all our debts. That is the meaning. And that is why if we do the ceremonies, good. But if we don't do, then also there is no bad result on our part. Okay, so we have to understand that. People often, they criticize ISKCON, that these people, they don't worship their Kul Devi Devta, they don't worship the Surya Dev, they don't worship this and that. But we have to first understand ourselves and make them understand that we are worshipping someone whom Surya Dev worships, whom our Kul Devi Devta worship, whom Lord Shiva worships, whom Lord Ganesh worships. Right? So we are directly worshipping that Supreme. And he's saying that you directly worship me. If you don't, then you are doing it avidhi purvakam. You are doing it in a wrong way. Okay? So if we still are worshipping Kul Devi Devta, if we are doing Navaratri, if we are doing other vrat, nothing wrong with that. But we have to keep in mind that we should never condemn, blaspheme, or criticize someone who is a Vaishnava, and if they are not doing it. It's okay. They are not supposed to. Okay? It is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities that even the most intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. The exact words are Tantra Vakya Kriya Mudra Vigyena Buddhaya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 23:39. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord, or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord, is to be considered completely liberated at present, and in the future his going back home, back to God, is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Krishna is above all criticism. Again, this word criticism also we have to take very, very seriously. Because what happens is that when we gain little knowledge, we start criticizing others. Someone is worshipping Devi Devta, so we will criticize. Oh, you are so low. I am worshipping Krishna. Krishna says he is God. I am a Vaishnava. No, this is wrong. This is not a Vaishnava way of life. Okay? So, and also this bhed, that this God is great, that is not so great, and demigod and semi-demigod. No, we should not be doing that going out in the society. Prabhupada said that because at that time, he had to make understand the people who had no idea about anything. And at that time, this demigod worship and everything was very prevalent in the society, and people were not paying attention to Krishna because they wanted to do business with Devi and Devata. That is why Prabhupada very boldly said that only worship Krishna, because Krishna is saying, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. that you surrender only unto me. He's saying that. But that does not give you and I the right to go and criticize others who is worshipping demigod, or who is doing anything or saying that, like I heard one of my friends, he sent me that some devotees from ISKCON, they went somewhere in Vrindavan and they asked this question, that which is greater, Golok Dham or Saket Dham? Golok Dham is where Krishna resides and Saket Dham is where Lord Ram resides. Now, I don't know the answer. I did not listen to the video, but we have to understand that why differentiating between Ram and Krishna? That means you have not understood Krishna. There should be no differentiation between any form of Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Narayan. Yes, Krishna is the supreme, definitely. Yes, we cannot have playful relationship with Lord Vishnu. He is revered, he is in the Aishwarya Bhav. Whereas Krishna is in Madhurya Bhav, Purna Purushottam. We can play with Krishna, definitely. But why to distinguish that Lord Vishnu is not great and Krishna is great? No, this is wrong. This is not how it should be. There should be no criticism, especially Lord Shiva. It's a great offense to criticize Lord Shiva and the devotees of Lord Shiva. He is a great, great, great devotee. We have no idea what the caliber of Lord Shiva is, right? So it's sad when people criticize. And it is sad on the other part as well, when a Shaivite criticizes a Vaishnava. That is also wrong. Someone criticizing ISKCON, that is wrong. And an ISKCON devotee criticizing any other person, that is also wrong. Yes, you disagree with something, you can put forward very respectfully. Okay? For instance, Sai Baba is not mentioned in the Shastras. Okay? Now I can either criticize or respectfully I can tell the people who really want to understand Shastra and Vedas that, see, not mentioned in the Shastras, now it's up to you. You might have some attachment, some emotional sentiment or whatever, but try to understand the fact. Krishna says fact, tattvata. If you don't understand the facts and if you become sentimental and emotional, that is not taking you anywhere. You will fall down. Okay? So I had to give out that knowledge, that wisdom. I gave out. Now it depends on the other person. But I am not here to shatter someone's faith in something. Right? So this criticism should not be there. If we really want to go back to Krishna. Because that is a form of enviousness. And one who has no enviousness, like once I was hearing a lecture and it melted my heart, because that Maharaj, he actually, this is way before I came to Krishna. I mean, I became serious in Krishna consciousness. So he was staying in Hindi, and then he said, when the word Mayavad came, he agreed that that is wrong, but he did very respectfully. He said in Hindi, I will say and then I will translate. He said, कि कहीं ना कहीं चूक हो गई है उनसे. Meaning that somewhere they have not understood the reality. But he said that very respectfully, not to hurt anyone's sentiment. Now, if someone says that to me, I would think, oh, really? Was that a mistake, a slip on my part? Shall I again go and read the scriptures? Shall I understand from a different perspective? So that way, he delivered the message and there was no criticism. So this is an art we have to actually learn. That we should not impose our views on anyone. Yes, I am a Krishna devotee. I am convinced I am going to Golok Dham. You might want to go to Shiv Dham. You might want to go to Saket Dham. Someone may want to go to some other part of Vaikuntha Dham. It's okay. I will encourage you. No problem. You know the truth. And then whatever inspires you, how Krishna is inspiring you through Lord Shiva, or he is inspiring you through Lord Vishnu, through Lord Ram, through Lord Narasimha, it's fine between you and him. I am just giving out my message, what I have heard from my Guru Maharaj, what I have heard from Prabhupada. Simple, okay? So we should not criticize anyone, especially Lord Shiva, especially any demigod, and any follower of any demigod. No. Everyone is moving at their own pace and we should respect that. Okay? 929, yes, Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dvishosti na priyah ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mahi te teshu chapyaham. Translation: I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yeah. Krishna says to Narad Muni, I don't remember that verse, but he says that I am not to be found in Vaikuntha. I am not to be found in the temples. I am to be found in the heart of my devotees. This is from Puranas, that he says to to Narad Muni, that I am to be, if you have to find me actually, because it's difficult to find Krishna. He's always wandering here and there. So Narad Muni asks, where can we find you? He says, not in Vaikuntha, not in the temple. You can find me in the heart of my pure devotees. So when we question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity in whatever form is his son, and so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He's just like a cloud which pours rain all over regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. So Krishna loves devotees. You have to understand that Krishna wants us back. He's yelling, come back to me, come back to me. And lifetime after lifetime, we were running away from him. We were going towards Maya. But now it's not easy. Like I was a foodie and still am. I love food. So for me, it was very difficult to give up paneer and garlic. For me, it was very difficult to give up music, like mundane movie songs and stuff. It was very difficult to wake up in the morning. I love to sleep and still love to sleep, right? But I'm just giving a small from my experience that I just did something like really little. I'm still not up to the mark, but I just said, okay, fine, let me try 1 month in Kartik 5 years back. And just simply that 1 month of sacrifice for Krishna, waking up in the morning, giving up onion and garlic, not listening to any songs, mundane songs. And then I cannot tell you what he gave me in return. So he loves, for instance, Bhishma Panchak is going on, right? Let's see Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Pitama, who would not like to be in Krishna's team? But being a Mahajan, so there are 12 Mahajans, we know from Bhagavatam, right? Yamraj tells this to the Yamdutas, there are 12 Mahajans. And Bhishma Dev is one of them. Mahajan means who can understand, no one can understand Krishna, but they are the ones who can understand Krishna the most. And they know what's going inside the mind of Krishna. They know. So Bhishma Dev knew that Krishna wants the war to take place. And for the war to take place, I have to be in the opposite, in the enemy side, Kauravas. Now that is a very big sacrifice. If you and I were in that position, we would say, oh Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Give someone else that opportunity. I want to be in your team, right? That's a big, big, big sacrifice. Being a Kshatriya, being a Trimangala fish, he took a vow of celibacy. I will never get married. I will never have children. So that is the vow he took, Bhishma Pratigya. So you see what Krishna did. When he was quitting his body, Krishna comes. And then, in Hindi we say na hak se, I don't know hak maybe Urdu word, but still, ki mera adhikar hai aap pe. So he is actually in a very loving way ordering Krishna that I want you to stand when I quit my body. And Krishna does that. That is love between a devotee and Krishna. That is, the devotee is ordering that, see, I did so much for you, Krishna. Who would do that? I was in the other party. I fought against you. I did not utter a word when my daughter-in-law was being disrobed in front of everyone. That was not an easy task to keep quiet, but he knew what Krishna wanted. So now he's saying, this is my hak, this is my adhikar, my right, that you have to stay here when I quit my body. And Krishna stays there. When Bhishma Pitama, he quits his body. So why would Krishna not love someone who is giving up even a bit? Even if you're chanting one round, you are giving 5 to 7 minutes of your life to Krishna. Krishna will love you unconditionally for just those 5 minutes. Because you have given those 5 minutes to Krishna. You went to temple, you chopped vegetables for Krishna. You did Aarti for Krishna. You asked a friend to come and sing in Gaur Aarti for Krishna. Krishna is noting down everything. And he will love you unconditionally for the small act that you are doing for Krishna and I am doing for Krishna. And you will see, when you connect the dots in future, then you will go back and you will see how Krishna loved you and loved us, right? So yeah, he has special affection for his devotees. He gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness and therefore they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in him. The Lord says here distinctly, Maite, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. That is also, this also explains the words, whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of him. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotee are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities is a pure state. In a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity, but in the personalist philosophy, there is. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desired tree, and whatever one wants from this desired tree, the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world where eternity, bliss and knowledge predominate. So, for Krishna, nothing is impossible. For instance, see, this is on the Bhav platform, okay? Like I can say that one person is, like I can say Krishna is best, okay? And then I would say, oh, what about Radharani? So Radharani is better than the best. So you see, that is Bhav. That when you say someone is best, then it means they are ultimate. They are the best. But now I'm saying, oh, there is someone better than the best, right? So this is how Krishna plays around. That, okay, I am not partial to anyone, but I love my devotees more. And no one can argue because that is on Prem star, that is on Bhav star, on platform of Bhav. So you cannot actually go and argue how you are wrong. No. Because when a mother says my child is the most beautiful child in the world, you cannot go and argue, oh no, he's black or she's like this. No. For the mother, the child is the most beautiful. Now, this next two verses are very, very important verses of Bhagavad-gītā. So let's take it this session. 9.30. Yes, who is the next Prabhu?
That is Prabhu. Apichesu duracharo bhajte mamananya bhav sadhurevasthaman mantavya samyak vavisito hi saha. Translation. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
Yeah. Now this is very, very important. Oh, it's a very big one. So let's do one thing. I will just explain this. Please go and read the purport. It's very important to read the purport and then come back. So people have some conception of the sadhus that they should always be very calm and composed. They should look a certain way. They should never overeat. They should never overspeak. They should never have anger issues. No, this is not how it is. So anyone who is trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and even if there is mistake, for instance, now you will see when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, there will be so many hidden bad habits that we did not even know. They were dormant, but now it will all come out. Maybe before chanting, I was very calm and quiet, but after chanting, I'm agitated easily. I am irritated. I have anger issues now. Do you know why? Because now you are cleaning yourself. And whatever is hidden, that dust, you are going, that Harinam is piercing through all the corners of our body and our heart and our mind. And it is cleaning everything. Harinam Prabhu, he is cleaning everything from our body. And when there is cleaning, the dust, they start rising and there is some agitation. Isn't it? So at that time, we have to be very, very patient with ourselves and we have to be more patient with others, our co-devotees in the temple. Because generally what happens is we say, oh, there is so much politics in ISKCON. There is so much this, there is so much that Prabhuji says like this, that Mataji behaves like this. We have to understand that Prabhuji and Mataji, they are going through a phase, okay, where there is cleaning going on. And you will also go through that phase sooner or later. So be patient with yourself and be patient with the other devotees as well. Because Krishna is mentioning here, I may criticize that devotee, Prabhuji or Mataji, but Krishna is saying, Sadhu Reva Samantavya. He is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. If someone had a fall down, okay, they did something wrong. But then they understood that, okay, I made a mistake. And it is, see, Maya Devi is very strong. Don't think that you are not making mistake today. It doesn't mean that you will not make mistake tomorrow. Just wait. Because Maya Devi will test. And then you will get to know. Because this is what happens. People, if some ordinary people will make any mistake, that's okay. But if a devotee make mistake, it comes to the headlines. Oh, so and so devotee, they made such a huge mistake. Same one, non-devotee, it's okay, fine. Oh, there are so many people, they do, it's okay. But a devotee did, then it's a headlines. Why? So, Maya Devi is testing. We are going through a phase. We are not sadhu yet, we are sadhak. We are practicing devotees. We are practicing it. So be very, very careful not to judge anyone and not to blaspheme anyone. And it is our nature. We have been judging and criticizing everyone since time immemorial. So if that happens, for instance, if you cannot help it, some people are discussing bad about some devotee and you are also a part of it. So now you have to understand that, go and apologize. Lower your false ego and say, this is my bad habit. What do? I seek apologies from you. I cannot control my tongue. I cannot control my bad association. So I spoke ill of you. Go and beg. And that is your part. Now it's up to them whether they want to forgive you or no. They forgive, very good. They don't forgive, it's okay. No problem. You did your part. But try to become a better devotee. That, okay, whatever it is, I'll be patient. This too shall pass. This will pass away. This is the phase. But Krishna says he is a saint for me. So we have to take Krishna's words and always come back to this verse. Whenever you feel being agitated that a devotee behaved wrongly with me, they did this, they did that, there was a fall down. So come back and just see that, if they are still following the four regulative principles, if they are still chanting, if they are still doing whatever the service has been given to them, then understand that for them still, they are still saint for Krishna. And if Krishna sees them as saint, then who are you and I to say that he's a devil or she is a devil? They are saint for us as well. Okay. And then, so please read this. Do not skip this. Okay. It's a big one. That's why. And we have lack of time. And now 9.31. So this is my personal favorite verse of Srimad Bhagavad-gītā. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashva shantim nigacchati Kaunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. So now, 9th chapter, okay? And there are 18 chapters. So Bhagavad-gītā was spoken around 45 minutes. 45 minutes to 48 minutes. And this is the mid. So let's guess somewhere around 24 minutes, okay? This is the time when Krishna becomes emotional. This is the only time when Krishna becomes emotional while speaking Bhagavad-gītā. And with a choked voice he says, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. And with one of his hand on his waist, keeping his hand on his waist, he points to Arjuna and says, O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes, that I will never let anything happen to my devotee. In an emotional stage, in a stage of bhav, Krishna says this verse. Now, this particular verse, once Yamraj was reading Bhagavad-gītā and he wanted to understand the deeper meaning of this verse. So he goes to Lord Brahma and then he asks that I wanted to understand this verse more deeply. And Lord Brahma laughs. He says, you know what? I was just thinking about it, that even I want to understand this verse very deeply. So he says, I know exactly where we should be. And both Yamraj and Lord Brahma comes to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Do we know who is Bhakti Vinod Thakur? So our Prabhupada, his spiritual master is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. And the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is called the seventh Goswami. We know there are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Shri Rup, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta, Dasa Raghunath. These are the Shad Goswamis, 6 Goswamis. And our Bhakti Vinod Thakur is called the seventh Goswami. He is a Manjari from the spiritual world. So Manjaris are those who assist the Gopis, the Sakhis, Lalita and Vishaka and all the Ashta Sakhis. They are supported by the Manjaris. So both Lord Brahma and Yamraj, both are Mahajan, by the way, who have very, very fine knowledge of Lord Krishna, and they both go to Bhakti Vinod Thakur and then they ask that, can you please help us understand this verse of Bhagavad-gītā? Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains this verse. And then he says that the first line means he quickly becomes righteous and attains a lasting peace. So this is not for the devotees, this is for the non-devotees. Shipra means very soon, Bhavati means becomes Dharmatma. He becomes righteous, matlab dharma, he will follow dharma. Sachva Shantim Nigachati, Sashvat Shanti. Sashvat means everlasting and Shanti means peace. Nigachati means will attain. Who? Devotees, so Krishna has already given that unka to kalyan ho chuka hai. The devotees are anyways best for Krishna. He has inclination towards the devotees. Now this line is for the non-devotees. That if someone sees a devotee and says, oh, this Prabhuji, so nicely he sings Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So nicely he sings Gaur Aarti or Bhajan or whatever it is. Oh, this Mataji, she cooks so nicely. Whenever I look at this Prabhuji or Mataji, I feel so happy. If someone just says this much, so this verse is for them, that very soon they will become Dharmatma. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. So this is what Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains to Lord Brahma and Lord Yamraj. That the non-devotees, just by glorifying a devotee, without having any bhakti bhav, they just said, oh, Rath Yatra, oh, look at the chariot, whoever made the chariot, so beautiful chariot. Oh, look at the mala, the garland, so beautiful garland. Or whatever it is. Oh, look at this tilak. This Prabhuji is wearing such a beautiful tilak, looks so nice, the kanti looks so nice. Any small appreciation a non-devotee does, so very soon they will become Dharmatma. They will come on the righteous path, and then they will attain everlasting peace. And the second statement is for the devotees, that Arjun, go and boldly declare. Krishna could have declared himself, right? Krishna could have said that, okay, I am saying that my devotees will never perish. But Krishna knows that after this day, on the 10th day, I am going to break my vow, when I am going to have Bhishma Pitama killed. So that time, I have taken a vow of never raising a weapon, never picking a weapon in the fight. But on the 10th day, for the sake of Arjun, I am going to pick up the chariot, wheel of the chariot, and I am going to rush to kill Bhishma Pitama. So then my vow would be broken. And if I take a vow today, then the world will say, oh, Krishna's vow, he can break his vow. But my devotee's vow, I am never going to break. That is why, oh Kaunteya, you declare boldly to the world that my devotee never perishes. And in history, the Lord Brahma says that I have seen the greatest Jnani fall down. I have seen the greatest Karma Yogi fall down. The greatest Ashtanga Yogi fall down. I have seen, because Lord Brahma's duration is huge, 311 trillion years. But he said, I have never seen a single devotee fall down ever. Because in an emotional state, with a choking voice, Krishna is saying that you tell this is truth. People might not believe me, but they will believe you because you are a devotee. My devotee, no one can touch. No, nothing will happen bad with my devotee. Okay. So please read the purports. Homework for everyone. Please read the purport of the 30th verse and the 31st verse as a homework for our next. And if there is any question, you ask. We have less time. I still need to chant more, so I am going to stop here. If you have any question, please raise your hand, but ask questions specific to today's class so that we don't go over time. You can raise your hands now. Okay, Bhavna Mataji, will begin with you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you said, like in that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, in that verse, you said like we offer only with Tulsi.
Yeah.
We cannot offer without Tulsi. But Prabhuji, when I was in India, I used to offer with Tulsi, but here it's not possible to get Tulsi every day.
Mm-hmm. So you can get dried Tulsi leaves from India, okay? The next time when you go.
Okay. But now if we offer like that only, so it...
So now when you offer, from mentally you can offer putting a Tulsi leaf on the Bhoga plate. So mentally you can request Krishna that we don't have Tulsi here. So I am offering you with a Tulsi mentally. Okay? And then you can, do you know the Bhoga mantra?
Yes, sir. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So after that, then you can, so that is first option. Option B, when you go to India next time, you can get Tulsi stick. So in the Tulsi plant, there is stick. Okay? You get that stick offered to any temple, or even if it's not offered, no problem. You keep one stick, and every time when you offer, you put that stick on top of the food. And you don't throw away that stick. You wash that stick and keep it in a box, and next time you keep the same stick. So then you are offering with Tulsi. That is the second option. And the third option, what I do is, every time I go to India, I bring dried Tulsi leaves for 1 year. I keep it in the refrigeration, the fridge, and then I use that one. I break the leaves and then I use that. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Abhishek with you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, my question is related to one of the argument which we said that Lord Krishna says that even eating is a sin.
Yeah.
Because we are eating...
No, Lord Krishna did not say. He said that if you don't offer it to me and eat, then that is a sin. Eating is not a sin. Not offering to Krishna becomes sinful.
Okay. So does that mean breathing is also a sin because we are not offering it? Because if you are breathing...
When you are chanting 16 rounds, Prabhu, you are offering your breathing to Krishna. That is why we are chanting 16 rounds.
So it means people who are not chanting and breathing, it means they are committing sin.
Now that is a gray area, Prabhu, because sometimes it is said that when we take bath or something, there are so many germs that die, right? So I've heard recently that does not incur any sin. But still, if you are not offering your breaths to Krishna, so it's not sin, but then you are not moving ahead to Krishna consciousness, Prabhu. Okay? So when someone, let's say, कल को कोई बोलेगा कि that is a sin, तो वो भाव के स्तर पर बोलेगा कि कृष्ण भक्ति नहीं करना एक अपराध है. तो उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको जेल में डाल दिया जाएगा या मरने के बाद यमराज ले जाएंगे आपको, नहीं. इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको एक मौका मिला था इस शरीर में कृष्ण भक्ति करने का और आपने उसको गवा दिया, तो ये एक अपराध. तो समझ रहे, दैट इज अ मेटाफर.
Understand, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But the logic of 16 rounds is to offer all our breath to Krishna. We breathe 22,000 times a day. ठीक है? और 16 माला मतलब कि 25,000 नाम हम लेते हैं कृष्ण का. So, जब हम डेली 16 माला कर रहे हैं तो हम अपनी एक एक श्वास जो है वो कृष्ण को ऑफर कर रहे हैं. अब समझ में है लॉजिक 16 माला का? तो
Yes, Prabhuji, I understand it.
Yeah, this is not the only reason why we are chanting 16. That is just one of the reasons. जो दूसरे संतों ने बताए, प्रभुपाद ने बताए, so that is also that वो नाम अपराध ना हो जाए छठा की misinterpreting the name, but still one of the reasons why we chant 16 rounds. Okay, yes. ग्रीष्मा माता जी.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, शायद पहले भी आपने बताया है कि भगवद गीता जब कुरुक्षेत्र में हुई थी जी, कितने मिनट के लिए हुई थी?
48.
हाँ, तो इस देयर एनी रेफरेंस कहीं से मिल सकता है कि या आपको कहाँ से पता चला ये चीज?
ये मेंशन है माता जी, पद्म पुराण में मेंशन है कि एक पहर जो एक मुहूर्त होता है ना, वो 48 मिनट नहीं 24 मिनट का आई थिंक होता है. तो ये 2 मुहूर्त ऐसा कुछ चला था. So that is why 48 minutes.
Okay, because now I'll just quickly say, I won't take much time today. मैंने एक YouTube Shorts पे आचार्य प्रशांत का कुछ ऐसे ही देखा, तो he was just explaining कि 3-3.5 घंटे चली होगी. तो I was wondering कि ऐसा तो आपने कभी नहीं बोला था, मतलब I had heard about 48 minutes. तो he was giving some different arguments कि 3-3.5 घंटे के लिए physically कैसे possible है कि दोनों तरफ के कुछ नहीं देख रहे हैं, all that stuff.
क्योंकि वो कृष्ण को भगवान नहीं समझ रहे हैं ना, ये दिक्कत है. ठीक है.
Okay.
तो आप जब कृष्ण को भगवान समझेंगे तो कुछ भी इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है.
Okay.
मैं एक रीजनिंग बस मैं आपको समझा दूं कि आप क्यों नहीं सुनो ऐसे लोगों को. वृंदावन में आज आप जाओगे,
ऐसा जस्ट पास ऑन होता है ना, तो मैंने चलो
मैं समझ गया. मैं आपको एक लॉजिक देता हूँ. वृंदावन जो है, ठीक है, वहाँ पे 84 कोस का है वृंदावन. ठीक है. अब वहाँ पे नंद बाबा के पास 9 लाख गाय थी और विश्व भानु जी के पास 13 लाख गाय थी और सभी के पास गाय थी. अब अगर आज आप जाओगे तो 9 लाख गाय अकोमोडेट हो ही नहीं सकते हैं वृंदावन आज के डेट पे, उतना बड़ा है नहीं. तो आपका लॉजिक यहाँ पे फेल हो जाता है क्योंकि वृंदावन चिंतामणि धाम है, इट कैन एक्सपैंड. ठीक है. तो उसी तरीके से भगवान कुछ भी कर सकते. 45 मिनट कुछ नहीं है उनके लिए, 48 मिनट. हाँ जी. अब दूसरा प्रश्न.
वन मोर क्वेश्चन. अभी आपने किसी को वो जो तुलसी जी के बारे में समझाया ना, तो आपने बोला सेकेंड ऑप्शन की तुलसी जी का स्टिक रखे, उसको वॉश करे, तो वॉश तो वो वॉश करके स्टिकी या ऐसा फंगस नहीं चढ़ जाएगा उसके ऊपर?
नहीं माता जी, नहीं होता है कुछ. मेरे पास तो अभी भी है 5 साल पुराना.
ओके. ठीक है. बस वही.
वो मोटी लकड़ी होती है, तो मेरे काउंसलर ने उसको ऑफर कर दिया था एंड उन्होंने मुझे दे दिया था और फिर मैं जब तक लीव्स नहीं थे मुझसे से करते रहता था. आज भी रखी हुई है वो.
तो अगर हम विदाउट वॉश के ऑफर नहीं कर सकते भगवान को हर प्रसाद? बिकॉज
बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. उनको उसको एक बॉक्स में रख दीजिए और फिर बार बार कर सकते हैं आप, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. बट मैं तो कर लेता था वॉश.
ओके फेयर इनफ. ओके.
हरे कृष्ण. ये समन प्रभु.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज दैट प्रभु, जैसे आपने बताया कि कई बार लोग होते हैं कि जैसे हम फल भी खाते हैं या फिर प्लांट्स भी खाते हैं, तो इवन दे हैव द लाइफ एंड वी आर नॉट ऑफरिंग दैट, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो सिन. तो प्रभु जी मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि कई बार कुछ लोग होते हैं दे ईट नॉनवेज एंड दे आर किलिंग एनिमल्स, एंड समटाइम हम एट द सेम टाइम सम पीपल आर किलिंग एनिमल प्लांट्स फॉर देयर फूड. बट दोनों में ही तो आत्मा है, दोनों में तो मतलब आत्मा है, तो क्या दोनों की अगर वो ऑफर्ड नहीं है तो क्या दोनों का लेवल ऑफ इंटेंसिटी ऑफ सिन सेम? अगर वो ऑफर्ड नहीं है, ऑब्वियसली नॉनवेज ऑफर नहीं कर सकते, पर विदाउट ऑफर प्लांट भी खा रहे हैं तो इंटेंसिटी सेम है क्या?
अब इंटेंसिटी का हमें नहीं पता, बट पाप आपको लगेगा प्लांट खाने पर भी।
अच्छा, ओके प्रभु। और फिर दूसरा क्वेश्चन था कि आपने बताया भी कि ब्रह्मा जी और यमराज जी भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जी के पास आए थे पूछने ये 931 वर्ष समझने के लिए। ये इसी कल्प की बात है या फिर किसी और कल्प की बात है?
अब ये मुझे नहीं पता है प्रभु जी कि किस कल्प की बात है, क्योंकि ये ऑब्वियसली आपको पुराणों में नहीं मिलेगा। ये मैंने मेरे काउंसलर से सुना है लेक्चर में। जी,
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण।
यस प्रभु।
When Prabhupada was in California, he was stopped by a lady and thanked him no ends, because his son had joined the Hare Krishna movement, and she was so delighted that he had joined the Hare Krishna movement to save him from veering to other kind of activities.
Okay, thank you Prabhu. Yes, Shyama Sakhi Mata ji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, जो 12 महाजन है, आई जस्ट वांट टू नो हाउ दे आर क्रिएटिंग इम्पैक्ट इन कलियुग्स लाइफ टू एक्सेल इन भक्ति। क्योंकि जो 12 है, 12 तो हम पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं उनका, मतलब हाँ उनका कहानी नहीं पढ़ रहे।
हम आज जो भी कर रहे हैं, आज अगर मैं और आप बैठ के भगवद गीता का चर्चा कर रहे हैं, वो महाजन की ही कृपा है। ठीक है, तो जो 12 महाजन है उसमें से हम किसके अंतर्गत आते हैं? नारद मुनि, है ना। ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदाय से हमें, तो ब्रह्मा जी ने ज्ञान किसको दिया था? नारद मुनि को दिया था। और नारद मुनि के ही जो शिष्य हैं व्यासदेव, उन्होंने भागवतम लिखा और उस भागवतम का प्रचार किया उनके पुत्र सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने। और उस भागवतम को फिर चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने बोला कि ये मेरा हृदय है और हम उसको पाठ करते हैं। तो ये किसकी कृपा हुई? नारद मुनि, हु इज वन ऑफ द महाजन। ठीक है, उसी तरीके से आप कोई सा भी संप्रदाय उठा लें, उन सब में, और ये जो 12 महाजन होते हैं ना माता जी, ये हर समय, हर काल, हर परिस्थिति में जाते हैं प्रीचिंग करने। तो आज भी किसी न किसी रूप में ये प्रचार प्रसार कर रहे हैं। हमें नारद मुनि कर रहे हैं, शिव जी कहीं कर रहे होंगे, यमराज जी कहीं कर रहे होंगे, भीष्म पितामह आज भी कहीं कर रहे होंगे प्रचार। तो ये कभी भी आइडल नहीं बैठते हैं, हमेशा जाके प्रचार प्रसार में लगे रहते हैं। ठीक है जी, तो इनका बहुत बड़ा हाथ है। हाँ बोलिए।
ये समझ में आ गया। और क्वेश्चन है, जैसे कि आप बताए कि भीष्म जो थे, डेफिनेटली वो जानते थे कि कृष्ण, मतलब वो माइंड पढ़ते थे कृष्ण को, उनको पता थे कि क्या होने वाला है, क्या हो रहा है। बट माई क्वेश्चन इज रिगार्ड, इंस्पाइट ऑफ नोइंग ऑल दैट ऑल्सो, वो जो कर्म किए, मतलब जब द्रौपदी का ये हो रहा था, डिसरोपिंग हो रहा था इन द असेंबली, तो वो कुछ नहीं बोले। तो मैंने एक्चुअली एक ओडिया ये मैं पढ़ रही थी, कर्म जो 3 प्रकार होता है, एक हम खुद करते हैं, एंड हम मतलब वी आर प्रोवोकिंग समवन टू डू इट, एंड और एक होता है कि अगर कोई गलत हो रहा है, हम कुछ बोल नहीं रहे, हम मतलब विटनेस तो है बट कुछ बोल नहीं रहे, तो उसका भी फल हम लगता है जी। तो वो केस में जैसे कि भीष्म पितामह, ऑल्दो वो खुद नहीं किए थे, वो दुर्योधन को प्रोवोक भी नहीं किए थे, बट वो मतलब विटनेस थे, एंड ही वाज नॉट टेकिंग एनी एक्शन अगेंस्ट दैट। तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, वो भी उनका एक था, वो जो 18 डेज सरस मतलब बेड ऑफ फारो में थे, तो दैट वाज आल्सो वन रीजन की राइट। वो तो मतलब ऐसा वो सजेस्ट दे कि कर्म तो कैसे भी हो भुगतना पड़ेगा। वो कृष्ण के पास थे, मतलब उनके कृष्ण तो उनके सामने भी थे, फिर भी उनको मुक्ति नहीं मिला वो कर्म से। नहीं, अब अच्छा ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है माता जी। ठीक है, ये तो लीला चल रही है। वो कौन थे? वो एक वसु हैं, स्वर्ग लोक से आए थे वो भीष्म पितामह। अब पास्ट लाइफ में जाइए उनके, वो एक वसु थे और उनको श्राप मिला था। ओके, ये तो ये पिछली चीज की बात है। अब दूसरी बात आती है कि उन्होंने जो किया, अगर अब कृष्ण की इच्छा, अब जैसे बाहुबली मूवी है, कटप्पा ने मार दिया बाहुबली को, ठीक है, तो क्या कटप्पा जब मूवी के सीन से बाहर आएगा तो क्या उसको जज बोलेगा कि जेल में डाल दो, तूने बाहुबली को मार दिया? अरे भाई, स्क्रीन पे मारा, मूवी में असली में थोड़ी मारा किसी ने, वो तो मूवी पे स्क्रीन पर मारा है ना उसको। तो उसमें क्या, जो भी कटप्पा जो एक्टर है उसको बोल दिया कि चलो जेल में जाओ, तुमको फांसी की सजा देंगे, ऐसे तो नहीं होगा ना। तो कृष्ण डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं ना महाभारत का युद्ध, और महाभारत का युद्ध जब कृष्ण डायरेक्ट करे तो उन्होंने एक्टर्स बैठाए कि तुम ये प्ले करोगे, तुम नेगेटिव रोल प्ले करोगे, तुम ये बनोगी, तुम ये बनोगे। तब उसमें थोड़ी उनको कुछ भी हो रहा है, उनको कर्म नहीं लग रहे माता जी। वो तो हमको सिखाने के लिए महाभारत बताता है कि देखो दुर्योधन का ये हुआ, द्रौपदी का ये हुआ, भीष्म पितामह का ये हुआ। बट वास्तव में ये सारे पार्षद हैं कृष्ण के। जैसे एक्टर्स
एक्ट्रेसेस होते हैं, एक टीम होती है, एक क्रू होता है एक डायरेक्टर का, कि भैया तुम हीरो बन जाओ, तुम हीरो के भाई बन जाना, तुम भाभी बन जाना, तुम ये बन जाना, तुम वो बन जाना। अब उसमें जो भी हो रहा है, हीरो मर्डर करे या फिर गोल्ड मेडल लाए, उसको क्या वास्तव में थोड़ी गोल्ड मेडल मिल जाएगा अगर वो ओलंपिक्स में दिखा रहे हो कि मिल रहा है मुझे। तो ये एक लीला चल रही है, ठीक है। बट हाँ, अगर हम व्यवहारिक रूप से देखें तो चूंकि उस समय वो शांत रहे, उन्होंने नहीं बोला, उसके वजह से उनको वो कष्ट हुआ। वही एक रीजन था जिसके वजह से उनको कष्ट हुआ, कि उस समय जब उनको बोलना चाहिए था तो वो चुप रहे, पूरा सामर्थ्य होते हुए। क्योंकि ऐसा बोला जाता है कि उस सिचुएशन में दो चीज, या तो लीव द सीन, अगर आपके अंदर सामर्थ्य है, अगर मैं देख रहा हूं कि सामने वाला मुझे मार देगा तो भाग जाओ वहां से। दूसरा कि अगर आपके सामर्थ्य कि मैं इससे लड़ सकता हूं तो लड़ जाओ। तो भीष्म पितामह ने दोनों नहीं किया।
एग्जैक्टली, हम वही समझा रहे थे कि कर्म आप कैसे भी करो, अगर गलत हो रहा है चाहे जो भी हो जाए, आपको तो उसका ये लेना ही पड़ेगा।
जी हाँ, क्योंकि नकुल और सहदेव में भी किसी एक को इसलिए नरक जाना पड़ा था कि उनको सब कुछ पता होते भी वो नहीं बोलते थे। ठीक है माता जी, सो हम आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे। यस चैतन्य प्रभु।
जो सुभष्मिता आचार्य जो भी बता रही थी, वो उसके सेम वेन में कि जैसे मैं ये पढ़ रहा था कि अहमदाबाद में एक बार रामायण हो रही थी और कोई भी रावण के रोल को नहीं करना चाहता था या फिर कोई भी कैकेयी के रोल को नहीं करना चाहता था, क्योंकि कोई नेगेटिव रोल नहीं करना चाहता था। तो जो वहां पे जो लीड प्रभु जी थे, उन्होंने फिर रावण का रोल किया, जो मतलब बहुत सीनियर थे। तो ऐसे बताते हैं कि जो सीनियर, जो भगवान के भी सीनियर भक्त होते हैं ना, वही नेगेटिव रोल भी प्ले कर सकते हैं। तो हमें ऐसे नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि ये नेगेटिव भगवान की लीला में ये नेगेटिव रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं तो ये नेगेटिव कैरेक्टर है। तो एक्चुअली वो नेगेटिव कैरेक्टर नहीं है, वो बहुत सीनियर भक्त है, क्योंकि वही एग्री करेंगे कि वो भगवान के अगेंस्ट भी जाए, नहीं तो कोई जाए, इसलिए ऐसा होता है।
यस, तो वही भीष्म पितामह कर सकते थे, माँ कैकेयी कर सकती थी, और कौन कर सकता था ऐसा? किसी में इतनी सामर्थ्य नहीं, हम तो नहीं करेंगे, हम तो हाथ खड़े कर देंगे कि हम ऐसा कैसे कर दें। उनको पता था कि जीवन भर क्या, अभी तो कितना 12 करोड़ साल बीत गया ना रामायण को, फिर भी आज तक कैकेयी माँ का गुणगान नहीं होता है, उनको अपशब्द बोले जाते हैं। तो इतना बड़ा कौन, एक भक्त ही कर सकता है ऐसा। रावण तो खैर चलो जय विजय था, वो तो पार्षद था डायरेक्टली, बट बाकी भीष्म पितामह भी इतना सामर्थ्यशाली होते हुए भी वो कौरव के साइड से लड़े। और क्या सुनने को मिला बाद में, दुर्योधन ने तो सीधे गाली दिया ना कि हमारा नमक खाया, हमसे नमक हरामी की। मतलब किसी की सामर्थ्य नहीं है कि वो आंख उठा के भी भीष्म पितामह को देखे। इतने सामर्थ्यशाली हैं भीष्म पितामह कि वो अपने आई से ही किसी को मार सकते हैं, इतने खतरनाक योद्धा। और उसको उनका पौत्र जिसके तरफ से वो युद्ध करे, वो बोलता है कि तुम नमक हराम हो। सोचो, इससे बड़ा इंसल्ट एक क्षत्रिय के लिए क्या हो सकता है। पर चूंकि उस समय उन्होंने द्रौपदी के लिए कुछ नहीं बोला, तो कर्म के स्वरूप उनको ये भी सहना पड़ा। तो दिस इज कर्मा। कर्मा इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग थिंग। व्हाट गोज अराउंड कम्स अराउंड। ठीक है, ये चेतन प्रभु, और कोई प्रश्न है आपका?
थैंक यू।
ठीक है, ओके। सो अगेन, फोन रखने के बाद कीप चैंटिंग, जितना हो सके कीजिए। एंड अभी बस 3 दिन और बचा है इसके बाद भीष्म पंचक का, तो उसका लाभ उठाइए, जितना हो सके चैंट कीजिए। कल देयर वोंट बी एनी क्लास, डे आफ्टर टुमारो विल सी, इफ टाइम परमिट्स विल हैव द भागवतम क्लास ऑन थर्सडे। ठीक है। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।